Hi everyone, welcome back to Katarina's Garage. I am in the junkyard again, but this one is Bucks in Sherwood Park. I haven't been here for a long time, to be honest. Last time I was here, I pulled some sail panels for a notchback. There was a 79 white notchback in here, and this junkyard is a lot more old school. You know, like you don't have to check in usually to walk in. You don't have to pay anything to get in, and there's not even anything to really sign to get in. I just kind of walked in. So anyways, let's take a look at what they've got around. There you go. So if you watch the my other junkyard tour video, which will go up before this one, the I Pull You Pull one, I was talking about in there that there happened to be a MN12 platform Cougar. Well, this is a Fox body Cougar. So you can see, you know, 4i front end and stuff like that. They did have an Aero front end too for a little bit, but overall they're pretty cool. You can see under the hood it's got a 3.8 V6. Just like that other one that was in the junkyard there. But this one, like I said, Fox body, so it's a lot different, obviously. Like a little bit smaller of a car, and still very comfortable, but not quite as comfortable as the MN12 platform would be, to be honest, because that independent rear suspension did make it better. You know, it's got a good set of wheels and tires on it, like their Westlake Winters, studded, and open rear end. So I always look to see if they have limited slips or opens, but this is a 7.5 anyways, and this car at least should be. So not really. This thing's pretty rotten, although to be fair, like for a beater, it's actually pretty good. Got decent seats in it, whatever else like that. Like these would be awesome, but in my truck, as an example, because yeah, these would actually be okay. The only issue is they are power. So, trying to hook that up might be a bit of a pain in the ass in the truck, but I don't know. I might come back for those. Maybe. We'll see. Okay, so they moved the classic section. The classic section used to be down there, which is in a bit of a swamp, which kind of sucked, to be honest. I do remember that. But now it's over here, so let's go see. So there's a square body with not much left of it. You know, like this one's been picked pretty darn clean for anything that was good on it so far, but you never know. There might be something else here that you might need, to be honest. Here we have like a Galaxy, or is this a, it is a Galaxy, a Galaxy 500 convertible, so that's like a 66, 67. Ooh, she's pretty roached inside, but these are very, very rare to find around, so if you need parts, like I said, this is here, and you know, there is, ooh, I wonder how bad this carb is. Might not be great, to be honest. And it's $289, so that's a little two-barrel. The one reason why I was curious about this carburetor, and also something I want to look at, on these Motorcraft 2100s, oh, it's on the side there, but 1.14, I think. Okay, so that's like a 325 or 350 CFM two-barrel on there, I think. I could be wrong on that. I know the one in my car is 267 CFM, is 1.08. But these early Motorcrafts are actually something to look out for, because inside these, they use Holley-sized jets instead of the Motorcraft jets. So much easier to rejet and much cheaper, to be honest. So that's something actually to look out for. And I'm always on the lookout for those carburetors, but they're usually not in the best of shape, and that's the problem. So yeah, and oh, check it out over here. We've got an old Escort. And go figure, there's a lot of Diva here too, just like the other place. There also is this, actually, let's check out this Eldorado first. So we have a 70s Eldorado, and what's kind of neat about these is that they're front wheel drive. You took a look inside, and there's no transmission hump. But yet under the hood, there'd be either like a 500 or like a 425 Caddy engine. And it's not transversely mounted. They have a modified Turbo 400 called the Turbo 425, and it's essentially like a short housing Turbo 400, and it only comes out to, transmission comes out to like maybe here or so, and then it has essentially a transfer case and then a drive shaft that goes to the front. It's kind of a weird way of doing front-wheel drive, but they did it, and started with Oldsmobile in '65 with the Tornado, and then eventually made its way to the Eldorado. But like I said, here we have a Ford Escort from the 80s. This thing is wicked. 2-door. Oh, it's a stick too. 4-speed. Heck yeah. Shows 220,000 kilometers on it. This thing actually doesn't look to be in that bad a shape. Now, bear in mind, these were like a bit of a throwaway car, so take it with a grain of salt. To be honest, it could be just a complete pile. That's why it was in here. Or they're not a high dollar car, to be fair. But this actually looks like it's in pretty decent shape, and it could be saved. Just kind of sad to see it like this, but it is what it is. These were front-wheel drive, little hatchback, obviously, and they don't make a lot of power. They did have the GT that made a little more power, and I believe they also could have a diesel in these too. So I don't know. The hood actually looks popped. So let's see if I can get it open. And here we go, the little 1.9. So this is not the diesel. This is just the regular EFI motor. This would have made like 60 horsepower maybe. They weren't very powerful or anything like that, but they're a cool little car. And a decent bit sporty. Like, it would handle half reasonable and stuff like that. Very lightweight. Like, this is probably under 2,000 pounds, to be honest. Wouldn't shock me. Just very cool to see. And I don't know the last time I actually saw one on the road. Ooh, is this an old Packard? I think it is, actually. With the flathead motor in it. So I actually don't even know. Like, could this be a Clipper? Or what even is this? I can't tell. I think it's a Packard, but it eludes me, honestly, of what this actually is. I don't know. Let's look inside this thing and see. Yeah, oh, it smells like mouse in here. A lot of mouse. Which is sad, but I mean, to be honest, this thing is a cool car, but it's pretty far gone. I mean, it's just salvageable if somebody really wanted to, but it's not exactly a high dollar car, to be honest, especially it being a 4-door, right? So, pretty neat though. Honestly, pretty darn neat. Here we have a Cadillac Seville, which this has the weird back end on them. So if you take a look back here, no, why they did that, I have no idea. It didn't look the greatest, and it made it so your trunk was a lot smaller, so you couldn't fit as much stuff in them, and it's a Cadillac, so you kind of want a bigger trunk. It's kind of a weird thing. But, oh, check it out. A Rochester 4-barrel sitting here. You know, just out in the elements. People swear by these carburetors, but I mean, they do take a, they're a little finicky of a carb, but when you actually get them tuned, they're one of the better carbs from what I've heard, you know, but they were put on GMs exclusively, and, because I think they had a contract with GM if I'm not mistaken, but kind of interesting just to see an old Rochester 4-barrel sitting there. But yeah, sorry, so anyways, we're taking a look at this Seville. So these were made from like the late 70s, like 78, 79, right up until like 85, 86 or so. Now this one has, okay, that is fuel injection, a TBI unit. So, this isn't the 468 motor, is it? I don't know, but it actually does have, this is kind of cool to see, some of the old Cadillac service stickers still on it. But this thing's pretty far gone. Although, it'd be comfy as hell with those seats in it. I will say that. You know, and obviously you have your wood, and like that's actual wood, not fake wood. And all throughout. Like these were, they weren't the top of Cadillac, but they were close. Because The Coupe de Ville / Sedan de Ville was the top of the top. I don't know where this would have fallen, to be fair, but in the hierarchy. And oh, hey, too bad that's too late of one. Shoot, because I'm actually looking for headlight buckets for mine, but I just want like the whole assembly, to be fair. But the thing is, that is a 79 because that has a squared off one, so I can't use that. This one is not even here, so, but this is also a 79. There's a few dent sides actually in here, dent side Fords. Let's see, what about this one? Oh, this might be here, maybe. This is an F250, just like mine, except for this one has a V8. And oh, that's what I'm looking for. The only problem is I didn't bring my tools. I didn't expect to find this here. What do I need? I just need to get that one out. And then any other ones? Oh, and then that one and that one. So there's 4 total bolts. They're kind of a pain to get to because they are hidden pretty darn good behind that. So it's easier when they have the front end off of these to actually get to those. Too much work for me today because, yeah, I don't have a ton of time. I have a little bit, but not a ton, because I still got to get back to the farm and pull some seats. But pretty cool to see this many dent sides, and this being a super cab is actually kind of sad. These are, people love these, and they want these really bad, because the super cab is just, well, extended cab. And this, like I said, so you see how the seat belts are on the floor? Just like how mine is. Just like mine. Back at home. And it does have a stick. That's probably an NP435, just like what I got in my truck. But damn. And the box is pretty far gone by the looks of it. Actually, it might be salvageable. They probably want too much for it though, that's the problem. So I'm not going to try and take that box. Because one thing is, I need a box for my truck, but I'm not paying too much for a rusty dented ass box. I'll take it, but not for a lot of money. So here we go. This is a Chevy Monte Carlo, a G-body Monte Carlo, like 84, 85-ish, give or take. Might be a little newer, might be a little older than that. But this is, so the G-body platform, which the G-body platform existed from 1980 until 1988, I think. With the Monte Carlo being the final thing on the G-body platform, because the Regal went front-wheel drive in 88, but these didn't. These still kept this until, I believe, it was 88, and then afterwards went to a different platform. But honestly, it's freaking cool as heck. I've always liked these, honestly, you know, because these Monte Carlos, you seldom come across them. 2-barrel carb. Okay, so the fact that this carburetor, not EFI, suggests that this might be like 82 ish. Because they would have had like a TBI unit in these normally. So if it's a little later of a car. But very, very cool, honestly. Like I said, I'm a big fan of these, and these are actually kind of famous because of the suspension design in these. When you launch them, they will do a bit of a shuffle to it. Now you can fix that with like aftermarket control arms and stuff like that, but a lot of people actually like that shuffle, and it's a signature to these when they make a bunch of power. And I'm not exactly sure what is with the suspension and making them do that little bit of a shuffle, but it's still pretty neat though. Old International pickup actually, like 65 or so. But there's not too many parts left on this one. Very crusty. Very, very crusty. Straight 6 in it, which is kind of unusual. You usually see these actually with the V8, so that's interesting. Hang on. No. Is that an International straight 6? Why does this kind of look like a 300? Again, I could be way off my base, but And that's a one-barrel carb too. That kind of looks like a YFA-ish / Old Holly unit. You know, same sort of intake and exhaust style. What does it say down here? Oh, this came out of a... Okay, this was a rebuilt unit from some sort of shop here in Edmonton. Interesting. Okay, yeah, because I swear that's a 300 in there. Which, again, you can adapt whatever to whatever for the most part. But just kind of weird to see it, you know, because, again, the international motors were fantastic. So, pretty darn cool, though. Ah, well, this old GMC here is pretty neat, too. Don't see these around too often. But I like it, honestly. It's pretty cool. Now, this is the 67 to 72, I believe, styling. Pretty darn neat. But actually, something else that's here. Check this out. It's an old Divco van. Huh. This is not something you see every day. Like an old milk van. Might be an old, oh. It's pretty stuck. But that is wicked. Wanted to check out inside of it. I'm not going to step inside of it, but check this out. It's very echoey in here. Echo! That looks to be an ejection unit for like a Cummins or something like that. That's very clean, actually, looking. I mean, that might be a P pump. Hard to say exactly. I don't know what I'm looking at there, but, well, maybe I'll step inside. Oh, yeah, actually, this is super solid. So, yeah, that is a diesel injection pump. I don't know what diesel injection pump this is, though. What did it say on it? Kelsey Hayes injection pump. All right. Pretty darn cool. And, you know, you got whatever this motor is. Distributor out back, so hard to say what that is, but it's pretty neat, honestly. I like this thing. But yeah, it's one of these things. You never know what you're going to find in the junkyard. Especially here at Bucks. Haven't been here for a long time. It's been like, what, 2 years maybe? I don't know. You can look at my Junkyard Tour videos and you can find out when the last time I was here. And I don't remember seeing these. But then another old, like, bread truck or mail truck or something like that. This one's a Chevy or GM anyways. This might actually be a General Motors truck, not a Chevy or a GMC, an actual General Motors. And this looks like it is, oh, it is Chevrolet. Okay, never mind, I was lying. Bear in mind, the actual General Motors trucks were earlier, to be fair. Actually, looking at this is more like, this is like late 40s, early 50s. But pretty cool with the stove bolt 6 in there. Pretty neat. Whew, I am starting to run out of energy here, but I'll get through these next ones and then I will call it. But check this thing out. I'm not even sure what it is, actually. Whoa. Let's see. Oh, a Chrysler Windsor. Okay, so these are a Canadian-only Chrysler, actually, existing from... to be honest, actually, the Windsor, they went all the way into the 60s, but I don't know if they started in the 30s or the 40s. This was a Canadian-only Chrysler, and they got around the chicken tax, which, here's the thing. The United States had a chicken tax. Canada also had a chicken tax at the time. And the thing is, this is essentially just a... It's not too much different. Like, there'd be slightly different trim, whatever else, but I'm pretty sure this is like similar to like a New Yorker or something along those lines. Don't quote me exactly on that, but they were just built in Canada just to skirt the 20% tax or whatever the hell it was. So pretty neat. Here we have an old Oldsmobile by the looks of it. You know, like an 88 or 98. Might be a Buick actually too, with that styling. and seeing that, actually, I think this might be a Buick, like a 58-ish. No. That is throwing me off. That's not a Buick. Again, Studebaker or Packard? It's gonna be one of the two. You know, which, like, if so, like, this is the last of the line of these things. Oh, I don't remember this logo, to be honest. Somebody ought to tell me. Is that, I think that's the Studebaker logo. But the one thing is, there was a solution to Packard and Studebaker actually surviving. There was a conglomerate that was proposed in 1951, I believe, or 52. And all the companies to form would have been, and it would have been the largest merger of all time. It still is one of the biggest mergers of all time, actually. But it would have been Nash, Hudson, which were actually the two companies that did form together. Packard, Studebaker, and there was one more. I can't think, to be honest. But all those companies would have formed into one big company, which actually would have dwarfed, let's see, it would have dwarfed Ford, GM, and Chrysler. But they didn't end up doing that, and it was just Hudson and Nash, and they formed to make AMC. You know, there's just really cool old iron in here. And even, hey, it's a Lincoln Continental here of the Fox body generation, but it's, I'm not sure if these are actually a Fox body though on the Continental. I know the Mark 7 is, but I am unsure on these. Somebody will have to tell me down in the comments below, hopefully. But yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen one. Because again, you normally see like the Lincoln Mark series. Not many of these actually survived. Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah, it's kind of bending up there, so I'll be careful. Oh, these seats are in really nice shape, actually. God, those would just like hug you and be so comfy. But they are power, which sucks. I'd love to have a seat like that that's just, you know, manual, and I can manually do everything. But yeah, and actually what I was talking about with that Eldorado, here we go. So under the hood of this car, this is a Tornado. This is like a 69-ish with this front end on it. But take a look. So this is a front wheel drive vehicle, right? This has an Olds 455 more than likely in it. Might be an Olds Ford. What else do they have? I can't think of it off the top of my head. But anyways, so you look at this transmission, right? It's kind of a shorty transmission. And that way, and like I said, there's a little bit of, so actually, well, the Eldorado doesn't have any. Let's try and open that passenger door. Hang on. I'm trying not to damage these parts if I can. Trying. Maybe not succeeding, but trying. Okay. Will this door open? No. But you can see, so it has a little bit of a transmission hump where the Eldorado has none, because the Eldorado, I believe, had a raised floor comparatively to the Tornadoes. But the Tornado's a way cooler car. I mean, look at the styling of this thing, you know? Like, just incredible. Although, seeing that R, this is a Tornado, I know that, but that... Wait, am I being dumb? Is this a Riviera? Yeah, I'm being stupid. This is not a Tornado. What am I thinking of? This is a Riv. But still same year, like I said, 68, 69-ish. Riviera. So disregard everything I said. This is rear-wheel drive. This is cool. Can you tell I'm tired? And that I'm not thinking properly? But very, very cool. So, okay, because it threw me off seeing that. And where behind this, you'd have gas filler. I've always loved these rivs, although I like the earlier ones a little more than the later ones. But the hideaway lights are pretty cool. And you can see, like, so they're up here, but then when you turn your lights on, they come down, right? It's pretty darn cool. All right. See, this is the complete, like, everything complete here of this, but it's still difficult to get to because you'd have to take everything apart here. You know, to actually get those headlight buckets out. Actually, looks like some decent headlights in it, too, to be honest. Or actually, correction. Oh, No, actually, no, they actually look pretty decent. Do with the grills all screwed up. Let's take a look at this one. So this one's either a 70, well, between 73 to 77. Actually, wait, 276, because, or, never mind. I can't actually tell that this could be a 77 as well, because, like I was mentioning, the lenses are missing. So if it's an amber lens, 77 only. If it's clear, 73 to 76. And the fact that it doesn't have the seatbelt up high too suggests that it's earlier too, like 76 and back. I don't know. I mean, I know by 78 they actually put the 3-point in this, but wow, the lock actually works in this one. Doesn't work on my truck, but pretty cool. There's a rat over there. And actually, how are these door? I mean, dented door, but workable. Actually, this is not a bad door. If somebody needed a door that was workable, there's one here. Fenders are actually workable too. This thing is actually a bit of a gold mine of a truck. Okay, this fender's screwed up. So is this door. And the box is pretty hurting too. But it's here. You know? Full of a bunch of parts. And this, I think this was, okay, just custom, but it has the trim around the tail lights, suggesting that this was a higher up trim, to be honest. Pretty darn cool. Oh. Nope, that is not. That won't definitively tell me. To be fair, it might be on the door, but I don't think it is. Let's see. I can't decode that properly, but somebody else can. Let's see. What about here? Oh, 05 of 73. Okay, so this is a 73 first year. Okay, that explains it. F250 with, there's some bias supplies on this puppy. What motor is this actually? Because it'll actually say on the stickers. 360, okay. So this is the same family as the 390. It actually does say on it 360/390. They're a D-stroke 390. They don't make that much power. They're an okay engine. They're not fast or anything. The 390 was a little more potent, but it'll get the job done. It's pretty cool though to see that in here. And oh, check it out. The old Autolite plug wires. Pretty neat. Let's see. Now this is kind of a sad sight. Look over here. Wait a minute. Before I show that T-Bird off. Okay, for a second I thought it said Ford. It says Toro on it. I thought that was like a spare tire unit for like a Bronco. It's like, that's actually kind of rare to see. But that's not what that is. Alright, let's take a look at this bird. So this is a late 70s bird, like 77 to 79. Burb. And let's see. Engine has a 351 modified. Okay, so similar to the T-Bird that I have at home, although it's not actually my car. Trying to sell that thing, but it's been a difficult sell actually. These are such an awesome car, and like they ride so lovely down the road, but this one has seen better days. I said it a lot in the junkyard. Go figure. They're in here for a reason, right? So, and you know, like everything on these is just so awesome. Like you can see the styling, right? And they ride so beautifully down the road. They could have rear disc brakes, which the one that I am selling actually does have rear disc brakes. Now, and this one has the Landau top, which means, well, this whole piece here and to have the vinyl. You know, and thankfully, the T-Bird that, you know, that's out at my place doesn't have that. So, because all that is just a rust magnet. You know, another, well, it's actually a Grand Prix, which is one of my favorites of the G bodies, even though nobody really likes the Grand Prix. They're not the best styling, but I don't know. I kind of like them just because they're a little quirky of the G body platform. So, you know, like that Monte Carlo is one of the more popular ones, but then also like the Regal and the Cutlass. These are way down at the bottom of the totem pole. But pretty darn cool, honestly, to see one of these. All right. Well, I need to go find myself some food, and yeah, I gotta. Oh, whoa. Okay, yeah, you can tell when I start to do stuff like that, suggests that I need to actually get some salt. So I'm feeling a little faint. So anyways, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more content. Go to the description below. Use my code KAT15 all in caps at Flash Shark Racing and at Oxedo. It'll get you 15% off both websites. So anyways, take care of yourselves, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.